What's up, Photo Booth family? Welcome to another Hustle with Drew Live. Today we're talking about becoming a full-time photo booth owner. It's possible. It's possible. Where is the bill? You know, becoming a full-time photo booth owner is not as hard as many people think. A lot of people think it's like it requires you to have a full fleet of, 10 photo booths or a full team. That's not exactly the truth. So let's wait until we get some more people in the chat. Shout out to whoever just liked the live. If you guys are new here, just make sure you're subscribing, hit the notification bell. We're gonna get going. So how to become full-time photo booth owner. You can achieve this in a few ways, right? And that word full-time is technically, how can I say it? There's not like one definition. To me, what a full-time photo booth owner means is if you can only do photo boothing, you can make enough money to live, but also have extra money for savings, vacations, and all of that. John, what's up? We got Brooklyn Booths in the house. What is up, my friend? Good to see you. Good to see you. So, full-time photo boothing. For some people, that's $75,000. For some people, that's $150,000. You can achieve full-time a few ways. One, you don't need to have 10 booths to go full-time. You can become full-time photo booth owner with one photo booth. You can also become full-time owner with 10 photo booths. But let's just talk about having one. How the heck can you achieve full-time photo booth money with one booth? You're gonna have to be two ways, right? One booth, two ways. You can have one booth and then focus on getting events during the week and then also the weekend. If you can knock out 5 events with one photo booth, you can make full-time money. Let me grab my phone. Let's just do the numbers here, right? Let's just say on average, you're very affordable, right? You have competitive prices. If you can squeeze out 5 events in a week at a minimum of $500 each, you're looking at a weekly income of $2,500. Multiply that by, let's just say 4 for the weeks, 10 grand a month. That's full-time money. Let's just be honest. I don't care where you live in this country, you can get by on 10 grand a month. Or if you have one booth, you can do less events, but you're gonna have to charge a higher rate. You're gonna have to be a premium photo booth company, okay? Brooklyn Booths in the live. It's always good to see you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. So look, like, it's possible. You don't have to charge whatever everyone else is charging. You can literally charge whatever you want. But understand, with higher prices, you're closing the door on a lot of people that would want to rent from you. Not everyone can afford $1,500 for a rental. But you have the right clients, I promise you, man. I promise you, you're gonna find people to give you the money. All right, let me, where's my drawer at? Hold on. You can make a lot of money by doing less events, but just charging a lot. So like, where do you find these clients, right? Like, what is Uncle Drew saying? Like, where are these people willing to spend $1,500 on a rental? High-end venues. Think about it, the Ritz-Carlton, right? Some people are going to the Ritz-Carlton literally spending well over $100,000 for their wedding. So if they have $40,000 to lock up the venue, if they have $5 grand for a photographer, videographer combo, bro, they have $1,500 for a photo booth. You just have to have the right clients, and it's all about getting their attention and knowing where they exist. So you're gonna do a lot of networking. Google, this is what a lot of people don't talk about. Bro, come here, you guys. You need a website. High-paying clients love finding them through Google. If you're the photo booth owner that is just tired of getting shitty leads, right? People that don't value what you're doing, they just care about your low price. The problem is not the client, the problem is your form of marketing. So if you want better clients, you have to do better marketing. And again, I'm here to call out everybody. I want all the smoke with everyone. If you don't have if you are a photo booth owner and you don't have a website, I'm here to tell you that you're not a business owner. Let's just be honest. Business owners have websites. Business owners have websites that have funnels. Business owners have a place that they exist on Google. Journey Woman Town, what's up? What's up? Man, where's my bell? Hold on, I gotta pause this live. I gotta find the bell. This isn't a live without my bell. I have the no button, but I don't know where the bell's at. I literally brought it here, so where'd it go? Damn, that's sad. This feels weird. It feels weird to do the live without the belt. But so yeah, full-time photo boothing, right? Like you can either do a lot of events at a low price, or you can do less events at a higher price. I know most people, if they had to choose, they would pick the route of doing less events and charging more, because you can make the same, if not more, with less work. But it's a lot harder to make that happen. If you're the type of photo booth owner that doesn't want, if you're the type of person that doesn't like to network and have connections, it's a lot harder to get there. But if you're a people's person, right? You don't mind networking, you don't mind making these relationships, like the road to that road is a lot easier. So here's some other tips, right? If you want full-time photo booth money, you have to focus on getting booked any other day than Saturday. Very easy, you guys, to run a business and be fully booked on Saturday. 95% of events that take place, usually Saturday around the same time, right? Because you can assume most people are busy Monday through Friday, working their 9 to 5, their job. So Saturdays are typically the days when events happen. So trying to get these weekday events it's what's going to make the difference. So what events are taking place during the week? Well, venues. I don't hear a lot of people talk about this. Like, there's a lot of venues that offer discounts to brides and grooms, to corporate companies, to use their venue space on a Friday or on a Sunday. And they're usually giving discounts for this. So it would be it's not a bad idea to start linking up with these venues and seeing if, maybe you can work a deal out where, I don't know, their clients get some extra freebies if it's Friday or Sunday, or just trying to work with them in general. School events. School events usually take place during the week, right? So, trying to go to the local high schools to get bookings there, that's really, really important. Corporate, a lot of corporate, especially in December, man. A lot of events taking place in December. I think we make about 30 to 25% of our yearly income for our rental business in December. We're pretty much booked in recent years, it's pretty much been every other day there's an event, especially during the week. So let me know who's watching. I don't even know who's here. You guys tap in, please. Let Uncle Drew know who's watching. Say what's up. It's always good to see who is here and who's tuning in. But yeah, so my favorite part about being a full-time photo booth owner is not just the money we make. I know we make a lot of money. I know. That's what attracts a lot of people to this business. But to me, I love my freedom. Look, Tuesday at 5:30, a lot of people are counting down the hours to when they clock out. We make a lot of money in a little bit of time, but the biggest flex as a full-time photo booth owner, I get to do whatever I want with majority of my day. So I don't, honestly, how much time do you need to do full-time? Seriously, 20, it depends, again, right? If you're doing less events, the number is a lot less. But if you're doing a lot of events, it can be just 20 hours a week. But you better, understand if it's mainly Saturdays, you're going to be basically weekendless, if that makes sense. Jack, hey Drew, Jack and Haley here on YouTube today. Love it. Oh my God, good to see you guys. Yeah. What else? I'm trying to think of what other gems I can drop here. Full-time photo boothing. Yeah, that's all I can really talk about this. What else do we need to talk about? Just to recap, we went over, how to get full-time, what to charge, I guess you could say, if you're competitive or highly priced. What other benefits I love about becoming full-time? One of the things I don't think I've ever talked about is once you are full-time, it's a little scary, right? Luckily, I've been doing it for a while. I don't ever recommend you guys just dive into full-time. I think it's a good idea when is a good time to become full-time? Is when your photo booth business needs you more than you need your job. That's I think is a good sign. David, where to get photo booth spare parts like iPad mount plates or LED lights? Probably from the company that makes your photo booth. So if you ever need a spare part, like if you have a Honda, you get it through Honda. You know, same thing here. If you have our photo booth, you get the spare parts through us. So it depends. Jack, we got with our board of education and get schools booked through the week about every other week. Now, man, that's a beautiful place to be. I'm telling you guys, the weekday events hit so different. So like, just think about this. Realistically, if everyone here can get to a point where they're doing a minimum of 2 events during the week and 1 event during Saturday, or even multiple, let's just say 2 during the weekend and then 2 during the week, so 4 total, your life will dramatically change. The amount of money, look, you can even on the low end, let's just say you're cheap, you're undercutting everyone, but you're doing 4 events a week. Let's just say at a $400 price point, which we can all agree is really cheap. That's still $1,600 a week time month, $6,400. I know people that went to college, right? Spent 4 years, some of them 6-7 years in college to get a bachelor's degree, that are probably making this amount. This business is a life hack, man. This I'm telling you. I don't know another business where you can easily make this type of money. Requires a very little. Look, I know this sounds bad. Being a photo booth owner does not require a lot of skill. Let's just be honest. Especially if you're running an iPad photo booth, you don't even need to be a master of what you're offering, right? I know so many photo booth owners that know 0 about camera settings. They know 0 about lighting, that are full-time photo booth owners, because the iPad photo booth has changed the game forever. I mean this. I know I sound like a broken record, but like this iPad photo booth, you can literally get a complete setup, backdrop, booth, right? Printer, everything. You can be all in for about $4,500. So for $4,500, you now have the opportunity, right? With one investment to get to a point with 1 booth where you're making $6,400 a week. I'm sorry, $6,400 a month. So what's 6,400? Would I multiply that by 12? We'll be close. I don't think it's the exact price. $76,000 a year with very little skill. Like, the reason why I can say this is because I'm not a super smart person. I barely graduated high school, special education, don't have a college degree, and yet here I am. I'm able to make this type of money. And if I can do it, I know for sure you guys can do it. The Baby's Booty. All right, that's an interesting name. What's the least iPad you would put in an iPad photo booth? The Baby's Booty. Baby, I'm gonna just call you Baby. Baby, why are you asking that question? The least iPad? Okay, how long do you plan on being in business? And this is for anybody here that is trying to cut corners and trying to get the bare minimum. If you're going to try to be in business longer than 6 months, why are we asking the least? Why are we not asking what's the best? So you're going to start off your business with the least. That sounds backwards to me. If this was me a year and a half ago, I'd give you an answer, but I just don't think I'm doing you any justice by telling you the least. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Does anyone here agree with me? Am I crazy for thinking that? Like, every day I get a question like, a question I get often is like, what's the cheapest printer I can buy? And it's like, you know what I mean? To be honest, this is only for me. Then why not get the best? That's even more of a reason to do it. Not starting a business with it. Oh, okay. I have my own event I host every year. Okay, then that's different. So you're not a hustler. You're not trying to make any money here. You just want to be able to have the experience. All right, that makes sense. So least, that would make sense. Go 9th generation iPad. If we're really pinching pennies here, 9th generation iPad. Then I'd go to Amazon and buy a ring light kit, which is literally, here, let's see if I can go on Amazon here. You guys want to see the cheapest way to start? I'll show you here. And it's going to suck. Okay, baby? It's not going to be anything good. You get what you pay for. I always tell people good isn't cheap and cheap isn't good. But if you just want something for your own party, let me turn this light off. I dislocated my hip in 8th grade playing soccer. And like, it pops out almost every day. especially when I sit down. Okay, so I'm going to show you the cheap, okay? I bought the next cheapest ring light photo booth on Amazon. So you have a photo booth stand. Then, okay, well, I don't need to do this. I guess I'll do it anyways. So you did it backwards. It was $550. Yeah, I know. You probably have one of those from one of the Chinese manufacturers, the ones from Amazon. So you did it backwards. Usually you want to make sure the photo booth, your photo booth may not fit that iPad. So now you need to contact the manufacturer if you don't know. It's really hard when you buy it on Amazon because your support's going to come from China. Yes, my grandbaby has the 9th gen, but I didn't want to rob him. I mean, look, if you're doing it for your own party, just borrow it. You know what I mean? Like if you're really trying to not spend. But I want to show you guys the cheapest way possible, right? Let's go to Amazon. Okay. All right, look. We're going to go ring light kit. Okay, this is not going to be, this is cheapest of the cheapest. Right here. You have for $93, little janky tripod, but again, the light will work. And then you see this mount here? It's not going to work. You're going to need to get a ring light mount for iPad. You can get something like this, right? That'll allow you to mount on the tripod to hold the iPad in place. So basically for $110, you have a basic photo booth. Your iPad obviously is not here. So the iPad would be 9th generation iPad. And you could probably buy it a lot cheaper. If we're being really cheap, go to Facebook Marketplace, but like $200. Alicia, just joining. Can't wait to watch it back. Love it. Good to see you, my friend. This iPad sells, what, renewed $196. So we're talking about $400. You have a very, very cheap photo booth. And then again, software, right? Because none of this is worth anything if we don't have software. Luma Booth, $18 a month with my sign-up link. Or if you want to get it directly from the App Store, you're going to be paying $20 a month. But if you're cheap, I'm even showing you guys a cheaper way would be to just use some app you can buy one time and have it for life. Because obviously, you know, Luma Booth to me, you know, most people don't want to pay $20 every time they want to use the software, but there's a lot of other softwares you can just pay one time, and they suck though. They suck. This whole point of showing you guys this is not showing you the best, but it's showing you what's possible. Yeah. If I wasn't spending so much on the event itself, I'd go all out. But just normal biz has been a bit slow in this economy. Just wanted attendees to have fun. No, I get you. Oh, trust me. I am all for... It's very rare where we get someone in here in the chat that just wants it for their own party. I probably 99 out of 100 people want to start a business. But here's my thing. If it's just for family parties or just this one party, you don't have to worry about presentation because you're not trying to impress anyone, really. You're just trying to give them the experience. And look, this iPad will do it. It'll do the trick. I mean, it's going to be obvious it's an iPad, right? But yeah, you have your booth. So I don't know if that wasn't really for you. That was just for everyone here. And I bought a 360 machine too. Cool. Yeah, it's going to be a fun party. That's a freaking fun party. 360 photo booth. Yeah. So all right, now I want to talk about, I think we kind of covered, you know, full-time photo booth thing. No, we didn't. All right, I'm going to give you guys my secret sauce here. I glad I remembered. 1 second, let me get to this comment. Hey Drew, I just had my first event last week. I watch a lot of your videos and wanted to ask about the WCM Plus. Should I purchase a hotspot for $5 a month or with a WCM at $200?
This is my last word. No!
WCM should stand for Worst Choice Made. I have owned multiple of those things. grab that WCM and throw it as far as you can. Printing with a laptop is hands down the way to go. It's so much more reliable. Think about this. Everybody I know that makes serious money in this business that is full time is using the laptop method. You have a few people using the WCM, but I think that product is hit or miss. I've owned two. They work great for a month and then they just stop working for like 5 minutes. And I know most people wouldn't complain, right? But 5 minutes during an event feels like 5 hours. Having people in line looking and you just don't know. And look, if I knew what happened with the WCM, I wouldn't care. I'm not tripping. I'm like, okay, well, let me fix the problem. But it dropped for 5 minutes, came back on, and I had no answer. So I don't know about you guys. I'm just not the type of person to keep trying something and expecting different results. But if you're going to print, right, should you get a hotspot for $5 a month? Try printing with a MacBook, right? And you don't need to rely on internet. You can, try to use the venue's internet if you can, if they have Wi-Fi, or you can use your own. Okay, get a MacBook and then invest in a $35 travel router. Check my YouTube channel. I have tutorials on how to set that up. You can literally create your own Wi-Fi network for free. Once you own that travel router, that thing makes its own Wi-Fi. It produces its own Wi-Fi signal, not internet. I know a lot of people confuse Wi-Fi with internet. Think of it like its own Bluetooth, where you can have your iPad and your laptop communicating together. Or you can just take the wire from the iPad, plug it right into the MacBook, and have the data, the printing, get sent through that wire. Baby saying, so new to it, don't know how to set it all up, but you have been very helpful. Thank you. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, my advice too, even though you're doing this event for this party you're doing for yourself, I still do think it's worth taking the time to test and practice everything. Because it can be counterintuitive, right? If you try to set up a photo booth and a 360 booth and then it's there, but it's not working, you're worse off than there. So my advice would be just practice, whether you're doing free events or paid events, Mario, that office doesn't look like the normal one. No, man, we moved. So we downgraded the showroom. We have a tiny little office in here now. I never needed that space. I was paying about $2,300 a month, and I didn't need it. Didn't need it. It was just honestly burning a bunch of money when I didn't have to. A showroom in essence, which all I ever really wanted was just a place to show the photo booths, the backdrop, and a place for me to film videos. That's all it is. So we still have our warehouse storage, right? I just have a smaller space. So rent went from $2,300 a month down to just about $680. So lot easier on me, to be honest. Shout out to Gloria for your order. Catch tray. We sell so many catch trays. So if you guys have the high-T printer, right? Boom. We sell the plastic catch trays, which I think I have in here. Yeah, somewhere in here. Shout out to Mario though, man. Mario, you noticed. It's okay. I will. It's in a month. Love it. Love it. Oh my God, I need to watch your travel router video. I had so much trouble trying to do this when I was helping a church live stream. Got it. Yeah. Yeah. The travel router is the travel router is $35. And in essence can give you the same thing as a WCM that's a few $100, like having its own network. But obviously with the WCM, right, you don't have to have a laptop or anything. It's a lot less impact, or no, not impact, but it's a lot less of a footprint. But here's my thing. Come here. I only care about reliability. A lot of people making a big deal about needing a laptop to print, and it's like, bro, would you want a little device that's going to be small and make your setup look less cluttered, but have a chance of it not being reliable? Or have a laptop which no one is looking at but you, and have something super reliable? Man, photo booth owners, and this is only for new owners too. This is something I noticed, and I probably should have mentioned this in the last video I uploaded today. New photo booth owners make the biggest deals about the smallest things. And it's, look, if you own a pair of shoes, it's the same concept, right? You get the new shoes, you're walking funny because you don't want to crease your shoes. When you're taking your shoes off, you're putting little socks in there so it doesn't crease. You treat it funny, and you have an attachment, and you notice every little scuff that happens. People just freak out and they make it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like for my booth, like you know what I mean? I'm not it matters to us. I promise you, there's never been somebody doing an event, right? No photo booth owner has ever lost money or not got a client because their laptop was on top of their printer. Doesn't exist. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I'm just here to, let's just be honest. It really, really doesn't matter. And if it's a big deal, you can literally take your laptop that's helping you print, hide it under the prop table, put it into a shoebox or something. Like it's not something that you guys should be losing sleep. So tell me if I'm wrong. Are we going over aesthetics or what's more important, aesthetics or reliability? I see it every time. Every weekend we have someone in our group chat. I'm trying to use the WCM. It's not working. And, you know, people are suggesting laptop. They're like, no, I don't want to use a laptop. And it's like, okay, well then continue, continue with the problems. Just got my DMP printer, gonna test it out. Awesome. Mario, that photo booth ain't been introduced with the screen. Oh, yeah. The deluxe pixel. Yeah, I'm working on it, man. I promise. Those might be available. I don't rush anything. I'm still using that booth for some events. I'm like doing everything from, you know, my engineer and I working on the design. This is the third version of this booth. I think it might be the final one, but I want to put it through more tests. Yeah, and I would never sell you guys anything that like I'm not 100% like confident on. But yeah, this booth it's a game changer, man. And when we launch it, I am gonna include for the first people that buy it, lifetime access to this. Let me just show you guys. Mario's an OG supporter. Him and his wife, man, been growing and scaling their business. So Mario is talking about this. It's the deluxe pixel, just like the deluxe version, which I know you guys see all the time. But this one has a computer and a screen where you can play graphics, show videos, slideshows, and we're gonna do a launch. I'm gonna launch it probably in the next couple weeks. Man, Mario doesn't miss anything. All right, cool. Let's sit down. Yeah, and if you guys are asking, like, everybody is surprised that I'm not promoting DMP printers. They make great stuff. Trust me, I know. The printers are amazing. They've had issues with not having enough paper kits available. And it's been about 3 or 4 times that I can remember in the past few years. Some people say it's like a chip shortage or whatever, but it doesn't matter to me. It was really hard for me to support a company that forced me to tell people, because we were selling the printers, like, hey, there's nothing available. I'm sorry. I had people call me. One lady cry saying like, you know, I have to refund. I don't have the supplies. She's like, please just tell me where I can get it. And I'm like, I don't know anywhere. Nobody has it. So I'll never forget that. After the second time, that's when we switched. We just focused on selling the high T supplies. And to me, the high T printer here is a better printer than the DNP, the RX one. Cheaper to use, and it has a little screen in the front. Everyone's always asking, like, why do I love that? You see that little screen up top? You don't have to guess how many prints you have left. You don't need to guess what the blinking on the printer. It tells you exactly what you need to know on that screen. That's me. Biggest deal in trying to get this right within a budget. Got you. But yeah, you're definitely different from everybody else here, just because you're not trying to grow a business. Cobb's House, hi, please advise on the pro and cons of drop-off versus hourly business model. The 300, 400 all-day pricing is so different than recommended by other companies and influencers. Whew. This is my jam. You're talking to the drop-off God. I don't want to say God. There's only one God. Let me backtrack, retract that. The drop-off prince. Drop-off prince sounds more too much like prince, like photo booth prince. The drop-off king. Drop-off king. Okay, I am that guy. So pros and cons, right? Doing a drop-off, the number one benefit of focusing on dropping off is you keep your most valuable asset. You keep the one thing you only have a certain amount of, and it is your time. You keep it. So what does this mean? You get to go to an event, drop off your equipment, and you could leave. Whatever you want to do with your time, that's up to you. Check me out. You can set up one photo booth, go to another event, set another one, set up another one, set up another one. Look, if Mario's still here, he'll tell you, drop off is the way to go. You know, Mario was able to get, I don't know, 5 or 6 different photo booths from me. And if he wasn't doing the drop off, he wouldn't be able to have that many booths. So you can be in more place than one time. Also, a drop off allows you to promote a cheaper rental. If you're not going to be there, the price should be cheaper than your print package that has an attendant. So that's definitely the benefit. The negative is it's hard to charge an arm and a leg for a drop off, right? You're going to have to kind of really be competitive with your pricing. But think about it. If you're only staying at your events, let's just say you do one event where you stay, you could squeeze in 3 or 5, maybe even 6 drop-offs and end up making already 3 times the amount. So sky's the limit with the drop-off. Another negative, I guess you could say, would be you're not able to check in on your equipment like you would if you're there. You're not able to get content because you're not there at the party. You're not able to promote your business to people using the booth, which is a big deal. But at the end of the day, you know, it's not common for you to be at an event and then, you know, and not every event you do, you're going to have somebody book you because you were there. But it is possible. So what's going on here? Hold on, guys. Sorry. I always got to make sure I respond. Okay. But, yeah, think about it, you know, from a marketing standpoint, let's just do some reverse psychology. If you're shopping to rent a photo booth, right, for your own party, you look at 9 companies and everyone's charging you per hour, but you want a photo booth for 7 hours. It's going to start getting very expensive until you find a $300 all-day drop-off rental. You're going to be interested. So having the low rate with the all-day rental is a marketing tactic on its own. I'm not that great at marketing. What really blew up my business was I was probably one of the first people ever to do that. All-day drop-off, 11 a.m., 11 p.m., digital photo booth rental. And it's really hard to compete with that, you know? Does the travel router work with the DNP and the MacBook? Yes, sir. Yep, does. Yep. Unknown user, king, love it. Jack, government is shutting down, Drew, but we're not worried because you helped us set up for success. Man, where is my bell? Dude, here's an imaginary bell. Just imagine it going off. Ding, 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 ding. I love that. You know, I tell everybody, everyone needs to have a business. Everyone can benefit from having a side hustle or a side business, and your job is not as secure as you think. Even if you work for the government, they have shutdowns, they have layoffs. Literally, look, man, this administration had literally a department, Doge, where they're going through eliminating government spending. So many people lost their jobs that probably thought it was secure. So, you know, if you love your family, if you love the people that are surrounded by you, the people that rely on you to make money, the best thing you can do is diversify. And I tell people think that I just make money with photo booth. I don't. Photo booth is just one way we make money. We could talk about real estate. I think that's a great avenue to go down. Owning property, renting it out long term. Right now is not a great time to do BRRRR. You know, buy, fix, resell, flip, whatever. Yeah, man, I think you owe it to the people you love to diversify, and don't get too comfortable, man. That's my advice. I can't comment on Haiti, but I must say my DNP RS1 has worked flawlessly for years. The only times I have any issues turned out to be loose USB or bad. But here's what I'm saying. I think you're not listening. Like, when people come out and they're like, I love my DNP. The printers are great, but what good is a printer if you can't buy any paper for it? It is literally a paperweight. Like, I'm just letting you guys know, history repeats itself. About 3 or 4 times that I can remember, there was issues where there was no paper for anybody. The only people that had paper and ribbon available were the people that were hoarding it and selling it for 2 times the amount. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to run my business like that. If you don't want to use high tea and you love DNP, my advice is buy 15 boxes of the paper. That way, even if they do have about 2 weeks where there's nothing available, you'll have some backup. That's my advice. And if you own that printer, do yourself a favor right now and buy some extra just in case. At a gig, a monitor arm broke, hit the printer stand, the table went over, and the printer fell on its front from 4 feet. For 4 feet, not a scratch, and still worked. Yeah, I'm not down it. Trust me, guys. Look, the printers are great. They make great printers. They're expensive, but like, obviously, it's expensive for a reason. I'm not doubting that they're not good printers. Mario, number one question I always get, how much for this amount of hours for digital? Same. And I love when my leads ask that question. When the question is, how many hours do I get? And when I tell them your whole party, it's a wrap. Now it's just a matter of how much upselling can I do to get more money out of this client. It's my favorite thing ever. Do you offer one-on-ones? I'm going to. The end of this week, I'm going to start offering it. If not this week, for sure by next Wednesday. Yeah. Anthony, what's up, man? I'm looking to get a hotspot. What carrier do you recommend? Yeah, so when it comes to like carriers, you have to understand like which company has the best service in your area. So if you're in Southern California, T-Mobile's good, Verizon's good, but just check what coverage you have best in your area, and I'd say go with the one that has the best. Mario, I say, oh, we do all day rentals. We do all day digital. Enjoy, have a good time. I'm about to go out and eat. See you at 11 p.m. Bro, yes. And here's the thing I don't talk about too much. When you're doing a drop-off at someone's residence, the photo booth is in the house. Photo booth is in the garage, somewhere safe. You don't have to come back at night to pick it up. You can literally tell them like, hey, like, would you prefer to have the booth longer? Like, most people's parties don't end at 11. Maybe they end at 1. You can say like, hey, if you want to pay an extra $75, I can come pick up the photo booth tomorrow. You know what I mean? So like, there's so many, the flexibility there is amazing. And if you're like wondering, well, Drew, how do you turn off the photo booth at, 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning? I don't. I just tell them to unplug it. iPad will die. The ring light turns off once you unplug it. That's it. And I'm trying to, like, now with every drop off we do, to come next day. Like, if my goal is not to have to go driving around at like 10 o'clock at night to go pick up photo booths. So, when would it be a good time to not do that? Well, if you drop off a photo booth and it's in someone's backyard and it's open, or if you're in an area where you're just kind of not sure if it's safe or not, or if you're at a venue that won't be open the next day. Paper maiden? High tea paper maiden. I don't know what that means. You're welcome, Anthony. What do you prefer to use, hotspot or cellular data? Both. But if you have to pick one, if you're doing digital only, right? Like just text, email sharing, get cellular. Because when you have a hotspot, you literally have a device that needs to be powered on. a device that has a battery that probably needs to be plugged in. And to me, if I can have my iPad with built-in internet, it's just one less thing I have to worry about. I'm still waiting on my Sunday fun day with Drew and pick up my free prop. Dude, it's gonna be a while, man. I honestly, like, I don't have any time anymore. Like, we had to move out of our old store. So for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I've been slowly moving the inventory we had at the store, patching up holes. Why we moved, I'm just in case you guys wondering, like, well, one, I mean, we were already going to leave that place at the end of next year, right? We had the lease that was going to end next year, but we were next door to a restaurant, Cindy's Kitchen. There was they try to fix an oil leak or something, right, where they pour their oil, and the oil from the restaurant was seeping into the floors of my store. That was a problem because literally 3 weeks ago we noticed this, and it's like, what's this brown stuff coming from the floor? It was oil. So it basically got through 45% of the store. The store smelled disgusting, like sewage. And, I talked to the landlords and I was just like, look, I can't move everything out and then move it back in after you guys fix it. So they agreed to let us break the lease. And I was like, well, I need to find a place where we can have a showroom before we move next year. And that's why we came here. I mean, it's a blessing. I mean, I am saving almost $1,500 a month on like rent, right? What's a WCM? Worst choice made. I don't know exactly what it stands. Something wireless connection module. It's from DNP. It's like a little mini computer. You plug it up to your printer and you can print from your iPad booth to your printer. But it's about a $200, $300 item. I don't know exactly the price. But to me, they've been unreliable. That's why you never hear me talking about it. I don't want to promote something that I've had a bad experience with. But yeah. So I've had like no time. We've been moving stores, man, and just not that you asked, John. I definitely though, as soon as I get time, John, I'll let you know. But we're doing one of our properties. We're converting our garage into a ADU, so when we move, we can have some extra income. And dude, I found this company, this construction company. I think I paid, I don't know, $80,000, and they're converting the entire garage into its own. Basically, think of it like a studio, right? Shower, toilet, AC unit, powered to the garage. We're probably going to be able to get anywhere from $1,000 to like $1,100. So I don't know. It made sense when we're thinking about it. Like, it just makes a lot of sense, and then it also increases the property value too, which is nice. I need to hook up my thing to power. Jack, we're waiting on our Sunday fun day too. The wedding didn't give us enough time to hang. Yeah, I know, man. It went by so fast, which always weddings do. Honestly, when I had my wedding, I swear it felt like I blinked my eye and the night was over. So I think that's going to wrap it up, you guys. Is there anybody, I think I literally have 2% on my phone. Is there anybody here that doesn't have contracts for their photo booth rental business? I love going live and offering some sort of deal. Or if you want to order anything from us, we're still celebrating 40,000 followers on TikTok. So if you're like, man, Drew, I can't believe I saw you live. I've been wanting to buy a backdrop. I've been wanting to buy a photo booth or whatever. Let me know. We can work something out here. But yeah, just let me know. I can do this while I'm live. What's the average ticket sale with add-ons? Ticket sales. It's funny. I've never heard of someone called ticket sales. Like I'm a performer. I'm about to perform. On average, with the drop-off, I'm making around $500 with the add-ons. If we're talking about a print setup, we're usually around $750 to $800. Mm-hmm. Good evening from Atlanta. What's up? What's up? The baby's booty. You're welcome. You're welcome. TBB, the baby's booty. You're welcome. So cool. Let me know if you guys have any questions, anything you want me to go over. I'm here for you guys. If not, we'll wrap it up. I'll probably go live on TikTok. I'm being honest. We get a lot more traction on TikTok. So I don't know. I love going live on TikTok. So, all right, guys. God bless. I'll see you guys soon. And if you want to continue, go over to TikTok. It's Photo Booth 101 on TikTok. See you guys.